Hi, I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads. And this is my second time filming this video. I had 4 days of reading updates, and then when I went to edit the footage, I found that my tiny microphone, this guy here, needed charged. And I had recorded all of my updates and they had no sound. So rather than, I had the choice to try and dub over them, but I was going to get annoyed by my voice not matching the way my mouth was moving. So I'm just going to film a sit down video, which is an update of 2 books that I have read, and we will have this as a learning curve for me to maybe charge my tiny microphone a little bit more often. I didn't even realize. I didn't even check. That's on me. I'm a silly little goose. So, this video was supposed to be a vlog, a weekend-long vlog, where I caught up on my long-standing NetGalley reads. I had 10 books on my NetGalley shelf. I have over 90% on NetGalley. So my rating, excellent. But 10 books have been there for quite some time, including one that came out in 2023. I didn't read that one for this video though. Of course I didn't. But I wanted to make a little bit of a dent. So I have read 2 books and I'm going to talk to you about them. I'm going to start with the book that I liked the least and then work up to the book that I absolutely adored. So my least favourite of the 2 was The Rainfall Market by Yu Young Guang. This is a translated book which is set in a magical abandoned house where there is lore. You know I love lore. If you write to this house, not sure if you have to address the letter to the house, but if you write to this house and tell them of your woes, of your plight, of your struggles, you may be invited to come to this house in the rainy season and get an opportunity to change your life. That sounds pretty magical. This book surrounds Saren, who is the poor wee lamb. She is, I'm not 100% sure how old she is. She might be 16, 17 or so. She's still at school. Her father's passed away. Her sisters ran away. Her mother is struggling to get money. Their home is going to be demolished. And she has no real social network. And she's just sad. And so she sends her letter. She gets this golden ticket, Willy Wonka style, and off she goes. She gets this opportunity to get a sort of orb. And that orb will let her see what could be. Like if she were to make a certain wish, what would the repercussions be of that? What would her life look like? And I kind of like that. This book kind of gave me a little bit of the Midnight Library with regards to a very down on their luck character seeing what their life could be like if X, Y, Z. But I don't feel that this book did it quite as well. I also got a little bit of Caraval with regards to the kind of cool market type village that lived within this house. Let's not be bringing logic and physics into the situation here. There was a magical village inside a house. Let's go with it. And the residents of this magical village were I have the word Dokaibi, which, according to my Google research, are legendary creatures from Korean mythology and folklore, and are also known as Korean goblins, at least according to Wikipedia. I did like elements of this book. I liked the what if elements. I liked the quirky market vibe. I liked the unusual characters in the market. I liked the fun elements. There was a lot of like just fun, cute moments. But this is what I didn't like about the book is that I felt like this book was a middle grade book and not an adult book. So this book was categorized as adult fiction. It wasn't categorized as like young adult fiction. It read very, very young. And I think that was reflected in the lack of peril and the lack of sort of twists. There were no grand reveals that didn't feel very, very obvious. And there were a few Deus Ex Machina moments, a few, and everybody applauded my wonderful thing moments. And I find that really, I was going to say dull, but that sounds quite harsh. I don't enjoy that in a book. It felt very simplistic, and I feel that could maybe be a translation issue and not the author's fault. But even if I take out the language, the simplistic language, the story itself had no like peaks and valleys of like pacing or of tension. It just was very monotone, and I found myself just I got to the end of the book and was like, where's the drama? Where's the oh, what's gonna happen next moment? At no point did I feel compelled to pick this book up. I finished it very quickly, but I was left feeling a little bit disappointed. Let's move swiftly on to my next book because I loved my next book, The 11 by Kyle Rotkin. This book surrounds a Hollywood cult. Wonderful. A superstar actress has gone missing, and all the signs are pointing towards a screenwriter who's kind of had his troubles, shall we say. And the screenwriter contacts a newspaper and is like, "Hey, I'm going to tell you everything. Send your best guy. I'm going to give you everything." And they don't send their best person. Of course they don't. They send like the work experience guy. Our screenwriter Cole just telling absolutely everything about the cult, about the starlight going missing, about everything. It kind of reminded me a smidgen of Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. Another book I really enjoy. Just in the way that this book was very much told interview style and a little bit like flashbacks from the screenwriter's perspective. Very little seemed to be happening in real time. There's a piece of my hair sticking right right up. Oh well. And I think the format of the storytelling worked so well because every so often Connor, the journalist, would like butt in with another question and Cole would be like, "Would you just shush and let me tell my story? I'm just trying to tell you the story." It was very, very exciting. And we got to meet the screenwriter as a young struggling artist trying to make it in the world of screenwriting in Hollywood. We get to actually meet the screenwriter when he's just a little kid and he gets this book, and this book he feels is like it was written for him. This book was created with him in mind, and at the back of this book is this mysterious symbol like an XI and an IX. The IIs will overlap and it'll be X, 1X for 11. And the screenwriter's kind of been just obsessed with this book, trying to find the author. And we get a bit of a side story surrounding the book, but additionally, how interesting, because this screenwriter has also written precisely one novel in their lifetime. And who should love that novel? Why, it's only just Connor, the journalist, who's been sent to interview him. And it's like, ooh, these things seem linked. Why are these things linked? Is this just a coinky dink? Or is there more? Is there more to it than that? And there's more to it than that. Of course there's more to it than that. I loved this book. It was very disorienting, which is something I really kind of like in a book where it's somewhat chaotic. And I really quite liked the characters. They felt very like they had nothing to lose. They had lost so much in their lives that why not? Because there was pretty much no risk. They weren't going to lose anything. They'd already lost everything. This kind of reminded me a little bit of Rouge, which is one of my favourite books by Mona Awad, and Bunny, again, one of my favourite books by Mona Awad, where the book itself is a little disorienting and you kind of have to read it but let yourself go with it, which is something I struggle to do sometimes with a book. But I think that is how this book was meant to be read, where you just buckle in for a wild ride. Things aren't going to make sense until like the last 10%, and you go, what? And then everything slips into place and it all makes sense. But there was a whole big chunk of this book where I was going, what does this mean? What does this mean? And I had a great time. Very much enjoyed this book. It was very weird, but I thought, well, it's going to be weird because it's a book about Hollywood cult where you get fame and fortune and success beyond your wildest dreams. But if you annoy the cult, if you want to leave the cult, well, they're not going to let you go just so easily, are they? There's going to be a cost that has to be paid. And that cost may affect your sanity as well as your life and your livelihood. This definitely felt like a fever dream. Like I had flu and I was having a weird dream because I was sick with the flu. That's what this book read like, but in the best kind of way. So strange. And I read this in the dark because it got dark while I was reading it. And I was not stopping reading this book to put the light on. No. I sat and read it in the dark. My eyes hurt. I got a headache. But it was worth it because this book was spectacular. This video is going to be really short because I had other bits in it. I went outside. I haven't gone outside for the last few vlogs. And once again, you don't know I've gone outside. I promise you I have. I worked in the office twice during the time that I filmed this vlog originally. I went for brunch. All of it gone. No sound. Oh, I feel like such a fool. Oh well, what can I do? I can't go back in time. I'd like to know if you've read any of these books, or if my lights go on when the sun sets. The sun has apparently set. It's 19 minutes past 4. The daylight's getting longer up here. Yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books or if you have also had a chaotic week, because clearly I have. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!